Hi, Capricorn. Doing some repotting and moving around today. It's very Gemini season. Also, if you hear anything, I live in an urban area and my windows are open. So I'm going to keep them open. All right. Well, this month can be extremely productive, or you can feel your head spinning, or you can feel stuck and watch everyone in the world around you. Some feel stuck, some it may not feel like as stuck as it feels like maybe stagnancy. We are in retrograde and things can appear a certain way, yet not necessarily be that way. Hold on while I get the right fixture here. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, refocus. You could be refocusing, restructuring, redirecting, reflecting, all of these things right now. And the will go into, it already went into Taurus on the 22nd. Sorry, Venus will go into Taurus on the 28th, which will be as I'm doing this reading, but when it not when it comes out. For you guys, there's this ability to be flexible this month with your creative self. Again, I know I've been talking about this with a lot for you, whether you create in your job or don't create in your job. It's important to have some type of thing that you're creating at the moment, because it's what's going to make you feel free. It's what's going to make you feel like it's worth it at this point, depending on what you're doing with your life. This is a time for you to really act upon the things that maybe you've thought about or things you wanted to do, and it all just kind of feels like there's so much that you want to do, but you don't maybe know where to start or where to redirect your energy. And now is the time to maybe even repot, grow a little bit. Maybe you've grown a lot and now you need a bigger pot. So some of you may need to move on from situations that you're in, take a leap of faith, or communicate this month. Communicate with yourself, communicate with the universe, God, whatever you call your higher power, or don't. It's really important that you do, especially around the Gemini new moon that's coming up on Monday, May 30th. Again, this will be out after that, most likely. But during this time, maybe I'll get it out before. I'll do yours before I do the other ones that I've already done. Okay. So maybe this will be a great time for you to speak on things that you want, speak on things that you're looking for, speak on and speak up. Not just speak on, but speak up. Speak up about it. Speak up about what it is that you're looking for. And also, it could be about even talking to, if your partner, talking to someone about your insecurities, talking about your like the certain shadows that are coming up, the things that get in the way of you being your best. And I don't just mean working for you. I don't just mean being your best is working. And I know a lot of you may think that way, but that's not how I always think of you. It's not just working. It's about being able to be creative, being able to be playful if you want to be playful. These are all things that are really important to Capricorns, and more than ever, I'd say it's important to you. Sorry guys, I just want to get the best angle. Okay, I think I'm good now. All right. Yeah, see, just give yourself a moment to give yourself the best angle. And then also seeing the worst as the best. They're not very different. They don't have to be very different. Here's the thing. You can take it as a point to improve upon it, because that's just how you are, is like you like to improve upon things. So maybe it's something that you decide that you need improvements upon, and that's how you want to look at it. It could also be about dynamics that were in your family a long time ago, and now you're learning to address them, you're learning to understand them, you're learning to not allow that to affect your relationships, especially the one with yourself. It's very important that you understand that you can speak up about these things, whether it's whether it's a conversation with yourself or with someone else. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. It all just depends on how you're going to view this. Sorry about that, much more comfortable. So this Gemini new moon is really important for you, and it's important that you understand that it's a good time to, again, speak up about things. It's a good time to go after what you want, a time to see that whoever you come together with in this time needs to understand where you're at. That's a big thing, especially if you want to collaborate, which can be very possible. We will get into all of the more details in the second part, which will be in a link below on Patreon. Lovers, Queen of Pentacles, Temperance, the Sun, Ace of Swords, and then the Seven of Swords. So that's right. You are repotting, you are growing. If you are in a committed relationship, that is growing, that is taking more root. There's more stability. There's even more understanding, grace from what's happening. You actually might even realize that you're in the same place as this other person, and that they feel the same way, whether it's positive for both of you, or if it's whether you decide to part ways or whatever it may be, it's for the better. There we go. It's always for the better right now. And you'll feel that. That's not something I'm just saying. It's really is for the better, and that's how you most likely will feel. I was just going to talk about the moon cycles, but the moon cycles are really prominent, the Lovers and Temperance. So from the beginning of the month to the end of the month, you find yourself in positions over and over and over again that there's so much more that you have to offer in terms of, it's not like more things like Gemini, like not doing everything like Gemini and Sagittarius can be. It's more so much about putting your values into these things and letting yourself shine. You may get the recognition you deserve this month more than ever, especially before Cancer season, or it's prepping you for that in Cancer season, being that's where the sun opposes you because it's in your opposite sign. So more than ever, you find like you have a grasp on what the universe is trying to tell you, what you are trying to set out to do, what you're wanting to set out to do, especially to do with how you feel in terms of what you're doing and how that connects and relates, and how you're able to bring those things together in a way where it feels like you're doing what you need to do for yourself, and as well saying what you need and still getting work done and still doing the things that Capricorn does best. And that's the big thing here. So he left 2 swords on the ground, but yet you end up with, you have the Ace of Swords here, and then you have the 7 of Swords. And he left 2 swords on the ground because he just couldn't take those ones with him. If you're being held back by past thoughts or doubts or people from your past or situations from your past, it's important to acknowledge what it was and to take the Ace of Swords to it, because it's time for new ideas, new thoughts. May is overturning our thoughts, and Gemini season is making changes and tilling the soil within us, and therefore you will have better soil, more nurtured soil, and more enhanced soil to work with as you are cardinal Earth. So this month, it's about coming closer to, whether you're partnered or not, really coming together, speaking up about something that you feel like you're unsure of, or what happened in your family life. It only brings you closer, or it happened in childhood, only brings you closer to this person that you're with. If you're not, this only brings you closer to the person you're meant to be with, because you're doing it for yourself, you're doing it with yourself, and that's who you are. You have to be able to see all these parts of yourself in order to acknowledge them, which brings us to the Queen of Pentacles. Being very set in those things, not in your ways, but in the understanding of that's why you value certain things. That's why you put energy in certain places. That's why, if anyone knows a Capricorn, it's quality, but it's also fun. It's also exciting. It's also just this beautiful energy and person and being to be around, especially in times when you are full of luck, and this month is full of luck. There's going to be exposure in many ways, and again, I don't see it as being negative for you. No matter what comes out, whether it could appear negative to someone else, it is very positive for you. It's a very month of new beginnings, understandings, and you have the strength and the power within you to take what we talked about last month and to really put it into your creative aspects this month, because if you let it ride out and you get through it and it's worth it, and it feels like it's worth it all the way to the end of the month when Sagittarius full moon happens on the 14th of June, right before we switch over to Cancer season, then Leo season will be extremely grandiose for you. There will be nothing holding you back except for petty bullshit. This feels like petty bullshit. If it's petty bullshit, then it's really up to you to cut that out of your life. It's really up to you to not engage with those things, because things are moving quickly, and it's important to see yourself in a way that is productive, where there's confidence, where you are on top of your game and yet still understanding and receptive. But more than ever, it's a month of being raw. So Gemini is to me the most raw of the signs. It's the most human of the signs, and you find yourself extremely grounded in the sense that you feel extremely raw in the beginning of the month, or towards that new moon area, where you come into the month feeling maybe unsure, insecure, and very much seeing the negative or the parts of yourself that you're not always, loving towards. But that's kind of the point, right? Is that this isn't a perfect setup, and I had to fix it here and here and here, and then now by the end of it, this may not look like what you wanted to see, but this is exactly how I would want things set up for me, meaning the camera and how I kept moving it. No matter what's being let out, whether it's from you or your partner, again, there seems to be a very mutual thing here. There's this connection to rebirth, and the water, and in some of the scenes having the serpent and the lovers, the temperance in and out of the water and the earth. So it's a very well-rounded elements, but there's still a lot of air and fire in here as well. So your life's being lit up, and especially towards the end of the month, you're being asked to take a sword to the things that are no longer upon your horizon and what you're really looking towards, because either way you choose is what's best for you anyway, so you might as well enjoy it. You might as well have more play with it, because regardless, you're going to get the recognition, you're going to be seen, you're going to be admired, and maybe even acknowledged even more in your life moving through this period. You may find this comes as an unexpected thing, especially from how you're feeling towards the beginning of the month, but I would get used to it, because things are going to continue to roll out. Things are going to continue to take another direction in a way that you've been needing. It doesn't feel like it right now, but again, after the 30th, after the 30th, things will start to make sense to you, okay? And there needs to be conversation. There's this direct line right now. There's just this rawness about how you really feel, and who you really are, and how you are with others, and how you are with yourself, and how that all correlates together. It's really a beautiful thing, but it's up to you to be secure in how you feel. Right? Secure in how you feel, create something even bigger, the joy. So this month may be about work, because Geminis are very work-minded and business-minded, but it's also about how you can expand your life more than just work. And not that you're someone who works all the time, but you might find yourself wanting to hang out with people more than you normally do. Not that you're going to do it all the time this month, but you may find it being more than you normally do. And that brings you to that place where you're then able to cut ties with this person that you used to think that you were, or these people that seemed like they wanted to make you look like a clown, or you feel like a clown because there's a circus, like tents and look like a circus behind them. People that didn't have your best interests possibly, and you're seeing it for what it is, and you're able to, if you're not able to directly leave the situation, you're able to cut the energy that ties you to them so that you don't feel the emotional charge. And it might take a couple times to do so, especially if you can't do anything about this, if it's a physical situation right now, but it could just be something inside of you that you're having to see differently. Okay, Capricorn? We'll take a look at the cards in the second part. Things are going to move quickly. Have lots of realizations from the 30th onward. All information to work with me one-on-one is below as well, and I will see you next month.